Yeah, you talk about the split strategy. That I found that to be very interesting. Obviously, everyone you had half the field on one situation and the other half, on your situation too. I was trying to figure out which one I wanted to be on, and I always kind of kept saying I wanted to be on whatever strategy you were on. And sure enough, when you pulled the lead that you did, tell people kind of what that's like, because in the back of your mind, you're probably not racing the people directly behind you. So you know that those guys are trying to fight through the weeds of the traffic, and you just have nothing but clear air. I feel like as a driver, that's what you want, right? You just want to be able to go out and attack.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you want, but we were, we, in case there was a yellow, which we actually had, we had the yellow, it went green, and we had another yellow. That was really bad for us because we were losing laps of green to try and get a gap. I knew that I had to open a gap of like 20 to 25 seconds, 25 ideally, to go head to head with the leader on the other strategy. But again, if 1 lap or 2 laps before I pitted, there was a yellow, I'm done. Like, my race is over. I'm like P20. I have to pit, and we're in the back of the queue with no options to overtake. So, it was great. I knew that I had to open that gap. I knew that the car that I had was capable of doing it. And on top of that, Colton and everybody else on the normal strategy, they had traffic. I think they were like P14. So I knew that even if they were running fast, they had to go through traffic, and I could have clean air. Having that said, I was glad that I was on alternates during that stint. My alternates were amazing, and I didn't have any follow-up, because it could have been that by doing, 10 or 12 qualifying laps, the rear starts to go and you start to have some deck. But everything worked out, man. I'm so glad. And from that point, once I left the pit lane and I saw that they were right there in front of us, I was like, okay, we're good. We have a lot more tires. We have a lot more fuel. And that kind of like opens our strategy and our options a lot more than for them.
Yeah, talk about a little bit of the differences of the tire too, because it looked like, and I feel, I obviously have not raced on the new surface of Laguna Seca yet. At least I don't think I did. But the restarts there, it seemed like if you were on the primary tire, that was a struggle. Like, it was tough to get them warm. Was there a big difference, you thought, between having the red tire and the primary tire when they get cold on the restarts? A lot of these IndyCar races, I think people don't realize how difficult it is to kind of keep the heat in the tire for those restarts, and it's a battle.
Yeah, it was. It was close to, on a street course, when you start just like going on throttle and there's wheel spin, you brake and you lock, like there was like no grip. It took like a lap and a half to get the grip. And then once they were up to temperature, they were pretty close. Probably half a second quicker on the alternate, but nothing crazy. While on the starts and restarts, it was crazy, the grip, the amount of grip you can have on alternates, especially new alternates. I think some people went on used alternates and struggle a little bit to get them to temperature as the new ones. But that's what makes it so exciting, on the starts and restarts when there's like so many differences between tires. And I think this weekend was perfect because the alternates were faster and you could do a full stint without issues. And the used alternates, you had to be brave to make them work, and we didn't. So.
No, I love that. Chase, go ahead.
Yeah, Alex, again, congrats. I will know better next time when we go to Laguna Seca to go in your direction. I mean, you're such a machine at that track. Like, I was watching on the restarts, like, as we're coming up, and, like, obviously, like, it was a lot going on. I felt like it was a lot more cautions than usual. And for you to manage that every time, I mean, to perfection was, I mean, just, it was very mechanic. We'll put it that way. So definitely a machine at Laguna Seca. But I know that in order to get there, you had to have a lot of practice, a lot of time in the sim, a lot of time on the track. Did you ever pull like a Reese Gold or a Christian Lundgaard going into the corkscrew and, like, do the Dukes of Hazzard, like, over the top? Has that ever happened?
Thank you, Chase. On the sim, yeah, definitely. I mean, I saw the rep, and man, that hurts. Like, even if it's only like a couple of I don't know, inches. Like when he lands, that hurts a ton. So definitely in the sim, I had that happen, not in the real life. But yeah, that was crazy. I don't know what he was doing 3 wide though. Like that was a ball move. Like it was pretty.
Especially 3 wide with Santino. That Santino in the middle. That's usually a dangerous one.
Oh,
no matter
was Santino?
What.
I did.
Yeah.
I didn't see that. Yeah, I mean then it's like going 6 wide.
I was waiting for 2. I was waiting for 2 cars to hit it, dude. I mean, it was full send. It was great though. So I had to ask that question, obviously. And then, too, I mean, you getting the win now, you're, ahead of the points, everything. We're coming into some ovals, man. How are we feeling where we are at right now this second when it comes to ovals? A little bit better than before yesterday. Where are we at and which oval track specifically are you feeling pretty good about that's coming up?
Honestly, I think we've been progressing. Slowly, but we've been progressing since the beginning. I felt really strong last year compared to what I did the years past, where in Texas, I was able to battle for the win at the end with Joseph and Palou. So we got a third there. Then in Iowa, was a bit lucky with the strategy and so on, but still got a third and was battling quite a lot. Gateway, I think we were pretty fast, qualified like 5th. So I think we're getting there. And I know that we need to win at the Novel, so it's gonna be this year. I don't know where, but I'm working towards that, man. I know it's what we need to do. It's what's next. It's not gonna be easy at all. We've seen Penske, especially even on testing the last week in Milwaukee, they were like 1, 2, 3 again. So it's tough. We need to catch up as a team, but especially I need to catch up as a driver, and hopefully I'll do it. Hopefully in Iowa or Gateway. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.
I love it. Kind of shooting the shot a little bit there. I feel like the confidence has to continue moving forward for sure. So keep shooting the shots.
I mean, it has to come. I need to wake up. I need to get it done, man. I'll
be the first one there, dude, with the biggest applause, man. You get that oval dub, Alex. We're waiting, baby.
It's definitely coming.
I'll do it. I'll talk to Conor a little bit before Iowa. After that pole that he did, he was flying in that car, man. I don't know how he did it. Probably he jumped a corner or something, because that was not a car to put on pole. But a part of that I think will be good.
Yeah, leave it to me to think people were, I'm not able to do it in a real sense of the word, but you know what? It happened, so it was good. But speaking of ovals, let's talk a little bit about Indy. We haven't talked to you since the Indy 500, and I've been kind of like ever since the 500. I like to get people's thoughts on it. We talked to Will Power about it. He obviously had a really tough one. We talked to your teammate Scott Dixon about it. Obviously, you guys for sure, I think, didn't really have the pace that you wanted no matter what throughout the month of May. That was very obvious. But you had a great race. Honestly, when it comes to points for the championship, yes, we want to win that race. Everyone wants to win. We don't really care about points. But I think you guys obviously just kind of took advantage of working your way up, being there at the end, and you had a decent day, right? Is that kind of what you thought? You knew that it was probably going to be difficult to fight for the win, but we got to get through here with as many points as we can get through here with.
Yeah, absolutely. As you mentioned, we knew since the beginning of the month of May. I mean, once we started being on track for really and pushing, that we're lacking a bit of speed overall. Our car balance wasn't great, so I was like, man, we need to get something. And luckily, the last couple of practices we did on Racetrack, we found something that worked for me, and I was a bit more comfortable. So I was happy, man. Honestly, it doesn't feel great when you finish P5 in the Indy 500, but it feels great when you know that you didn't have the speed and you did everything you could. We actually led one lap, which I was trying hard. But we didn't really have the ultimate speed to hold that position and to fight for the win. So I think we did the best we could. I overtook you on track, which was really tough. We were battling for a little bit.
Still hate it, yeah.
But it was a crazy race. Everybody had to play aggressive. Normally it's not like that. Normally it's a bit more calm, and then it starts to ramp up. But since lap 1, it was like a war. So it felt great to finish up there. And yeah, hopefully next year we can go there with a little bit more speed.